Welcome back to Andersen Acres. It is cold, it is windy, but life doesn't stop here on the farm. So, every time someone asks me what the most important part of farming is, I have to resist the urge to say, a really good drink. I mean, let's face it, whether your chosen drink is coffee or wine, it is a core part of sustainability, sustaining yourself. But once we get past that, what I usually tell people is that a sustainable farm isn't about one big thing. It's about 1,000 small things working together in harmony. The animals, the plants, the soil, the weather, and yes, the farmer's sanity. All of it has to balance if you want your farm to last. Sustainability has become one of those trendy words that gets plastered on everything from cleaning products to chicken feed. But a real working farm, well, if you're on a real working farm, it means something much deeper. It's not about being perfect or having a zero waste Instagram ready setup. It's about creating a system that works long term for the land and for the animals and for you. Because if any one of those three starts falling apart, the whole system starts wobbling. So today we're going to talk about what it actually means to build a sustainable farm, how you can keep your land healthy, your animals thriving, your wallet from crying, and your energy levels somewhere above zombie farmer. Now let's start with the foundation of everything, your soil. Healthy soil isn't dirt. Dirt is what you sweep off your boots. Soil is alive. It's a living, breathing ecosystem full of bacteria, fungi, and tiny critters who are all doing their part to break things down and feed your plants. Hi. If you treat your soil right, it'll reward you with strong crops, lush pastures, and healthy animals. If you abuse it, well, you'll be staring at a patch of cracked earth wondering where everything went wrong. One of the best ways to build completely sustainable soil is through composting. Every farm creates waste. You've got bedding, manure, old hay, kitchen scraps. Don't throw that stuff away. Compost it. Around here, we compost a lot. Our compost piles are like our secret weapons. We layer straw and manure from the goat pens, throw in some garden trimmings, maybe a bit of ash from the wood stove, from the fire pits, from manure from the rabbit pens. Then we let nature do its thing. A few months later, we've got a rich, dark compost that smells like the forest floor after rain. And it goes right back into the garden or onto pastures, depending on where we need it. Composting closes the loop. What your animals eat eventually goes back to feed the land, which then grows the next round of feed. That's sustainability in action. Another tool is cover cropping. Between harvests, plant something that protects and feeds your soil. Clover or rye, there's a lot of choices depending on where you live. These aren't just filler plants. They can prevent erosion, fix nitrogen, and improve soil textures. Plus, they look gorgeous when they bloom. Nothing says healthy farm like a field of green in the off-season. Now, if you've got animals, like we obviously do, if you've got animals, if you're watching Andersen Acres, you probably do, rotational grazing is one of the best ways to keep both your soil and your livestock healthy. Here's how it works. Instead of letting your animals graze one big field until it looks like a golf course, divide that field into sections. Let them graze one section. Then move them to the next. The section that they left gets time to recover, regrow, and rebuild. By the time you circle back, it's ready again. The manure they left behind breaks down, feeding the next growth cycle. No expensive fertilizer required, and your pastures don't burn. Always This is life on a farm. This is life on a farm. Hi. Yeah. You want to live on a farm? Get ready for a cat on your head. This is life on a farm. Anyway, I always tell new farmers, your animals are your best employees if you just give them the right job. Chickens are great at pest control and fertilizer distribution. Ducks, great slug assassins. Goats, nature's brush clearing machines. everyone contributes if you let them. Now let's talk about water. Because if you don't have a good handle on your water situation, nothing else matters. Sustainable farming is as much about the water management as it is about the soil or the animals. Start by thinking about where exactly your water comes from and where it goes. Do you have runoff that floods your garden every spring? Do your animal pens get muddy enough to swallow boots? Hi. But those things are signs that your water system needs a little help, or that you're just getting too much rain and nothing's going to help. One of the two. But simple fixes do make a big difference. Rain barrels on barn roofs, gutters leading to collection tanks, small areas that guide water across your land instead of letting it pool in one spot. It doesn't have to be fancy. You just need to think like water. Where does it want to go? And how can you make that journey useful? One trick we use here is setting up small retention areas, kind of like mini ponds or ditches. That's why we kind of looks like we have little tiny lakes. There are kind of retention ponds. And it works really well because the water can sit and slowly soak in instead of washing soil away. The water feeds plant roots, refills the groundwater, and gives the ducks something to splash in, which is a bonus feature for everybody because they stay out of my hair and they're entertaining themselves. Okay, so it's good for everyone. Very good. Now, I don't want to forget your animals' water while we're talking about water. Clean, fresh water is one of the most overlooked parts of sustainable farming. It's not sustainable to spend half your day refilling 1 million buckets because the ducks think they're Olympic swimmers. They are Olympic swimmers, but that's not the point. Setting up automatic drinkers or heated troughs in winter will save your sanity and your back. Now, I know a lot of people jump straight to renewable energy when they think of sustainability. And that's fine. That's great. Solar panels, wind turbines, off-grid setups, all great ideas, but they're not the only ideas, and they're not practical for everyone. So yes, now we're talking about energy. Energy isn't just electricity, though. It's your time, your physical effort, your daily rhythm. I've seen some farms that run on solar, but burn out because the farmer's working 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. Well, that's not sustainable. That's a countdown timer to collapse. You might need systems that save you energy too. That might mean gravity-fed water lines instead of hauling buckets. That might mean setting up feed storage closer to the pens that you use the most. It might even mean investing in better tools or a small utility vehicle if it saves you 2 hours of walking every day. Efficiency is sustainability. The less you waste, whether it's power, feed, your own muscles, the more your farm is going to thrive. Now, we can't ignore the money side of this either. Financial sustainability is the elephant in the barn. A lot of people get into farming because they love animals, or they want to grow their own food, or they just want to escape the chaos of modern life. And that's wonderful. But you can't ignore the math. A farm that can't pay its own bills won't last long, no matter how noble your intentions are. So start by tracking everything: feed costs and seed costs and repairs and utilities, all of it. It doesn't have to be complicated. A simple spreadsheet or even a notebook will do. The goal is to see where your money's going and find ways to close the gaps. Can you sell eggs, seedlings, or produce locally? Are there farmers markets that you can get in on? Can you trade with a neighbor? Hay for honey, milk for vegetables? Can you reduce waste so you're not buying as much? Every little bit helps. And here's something a lot of people don't like to hear. It's okay to charge fair prices for your farm goods. Your time and your skill are worth something, okay? Selling your eggs for half the grocery store price might make you popular with your neighbors, but it's not sustainable. You can be generous and smart at the same time. It doesn't have to be one or the other. Now, I do want to talk about something else, one of my favorite things: biodiversity. A sustainable farm is one that embraces diversity in plants and animals and ideas. Monocultures, they look tidy, but they're fragile. If you've got a field of only one crop and a pest shows up that loves that crop, congratulations, you've just provided it with an all-you-can-eat buffet, and now you don't have the crop you needed. So mix things up. Grow multiple kinds of vegetables, even if it's only for yourself. Plant flowers that attract pollinators. Keep different species of livestock if you can. They balance each other out. Goats eat what cows won't. Chickens, well, they're going to scratch through what goats drop. Ducks clean up pests that chickens miss. It all loops together. The more diverse your setup is, the better off you'll be. And don't forget the wild things. Leaving a bit of habitat, hedgerows, brush piles, or even an untamed corner, gives nature room to breathe. Beneficial insects, birds, frogs, these kind of things, they all help your farm more than you might realize. A healthy ecosystem doesn't end at your fence line. Now, let's move on to waste management, because farms are messy. You're going to have piles of manure and piles of old hay and broken buckets and random bits of twine that multiply like rabbits. The key is to manage it before it manages you. Compost what you can. Reuse what's safe. Recycle creatively. An old water trough can become a raised garden bed. A broken rake handle can become a tomato stake. And feed sacks can make great weed barriers. Sustainability doesn't mean perfection. It means creativity. Sometimes the most eco-friendly solution is just using what you already have in a new way. And let's not skip over personal sustainability, because this is where a lot of farmers stumble. I don't care how green your farm is. If you're running on fumes, it's not sustainable. Farming can chew you up and spit you out if you let it. Between early mornings and late nights, the weather doesn't care about your plans. Burnout is a real risk. So take care of yourself. Eat well, drink water. I know you didn't. Drink it. Take a nap if you need one. Yes, naps count as energy. They cultivate energy. That's farming. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't be afraid to ask for help. And don't compare your farm to someone else's highlight reel. So we try to show what's real around here. We try to show the messy, that not everything's perfect, that sometimes your fence falls down and sometimes your barn's not perfect. But a lot of creators online are just showing you the Pinterest-worthy parts. Remember that everyone's got messy. They just didn't photograph it for you. And remember to celebrate the small victories. That first ripe tomato, that clean stall after a deep litter day, the goat that finally learned not to eat your shirt. Till tomorrow. Those are the wins that keep you going. Now, a truly sustainable farm doesn't exist in a bubble. It's part of a community. I talk about community a lot. Talk to your neighbors. Support local markets. Trade skills and knowledge. If your tractor breaks, there's probably someone nearby who's been through the same thing and knows a trick or two. Building those connections makes everyone stronger. Here at Andersen Acres, we've learned that community sustainability is just as vital as anything else on your farm. It's as vital as environmental or financial sustainability. When we help each other, we all thrive. So don't be an island. And sometimes that community is online too. Sharing your experience, even your failures, helps others learn. And honestly, farmers are some of the most generous people when it comes to advice. Ask 3 farmers one question and you'll get 5 different answers, but you'll learn something from each of them. Now let's talk about long-term planning. Because sustainability is a marathon, not a sprint. You're not going to be done tomorrow. You can't fix everything in one season. And that's okay. Start small. Pick one system to improve each year. Maybe this year, you address your compost setup and make it better. Next year, you tackle water catchment. The year after that, you plant more perennials. Step by step, season by season, it will add up. The key is consistency. Keep good records, pay attention to what works and what doesn't, and don't be afraid to adjust. Farming is an ongoing experiment, and sometimes the results are unpredictable. You might find that the new feed you tried doesn't sit well with your goats, or that your garden thrives better when you mulch heavier. Adapting is part of sustainability. You're not fighting nature, you're learning her rhythm. Now, I want to be real for a second. Sustainable farming is hard work. It'll take it out of you. It takes patience, persistence, and having a good sense of humor. You're going to have setbacks. We all do. You'll plant something and it'll not sprout and it'll annoy you. You'll fix the same fence 3 times because Shadowfax thinks he's a Houdini. You will be doing things over and over and over again. You will question your life choices at 5 a.m. when the hose freezes solid and you're shivering. But then you'll look around, the morning mist on the pasture and the sound of chickens scratching, the smell of hay and earth and life, and you'll remember why you started. Because this life, when it's balanced and built with care, gives back more than it takes. That's what sustainability really means. It's not just keeping your land alive, it's keeping you alive in the process. It's the art of farming smarter, not harder, and finding joys in the cycles that connect us all. So if you're dreaming of building a sustainable farm, start with the simple things. Feed your soil. Manage your water. Respect your animals. Track your resources. Take care of yourself. And above all, be patient. Sustainability is built over years, not weekends. Little by little, your systems will strengthen. Your soil will deepen. Your animals will thrive. And one day you'll look around and realize that your farm isn't just surviving, it's sustaining itself, and you along with it. Now that's about it for us here today at Andersen Acres. Drop a comment below and tell me, what's one change you've made that's helped your farm or garden become just a little more sustainable? We'll see you tomorrow.